said at the table where I sat briefly was that sometimes you have to assume the posture. You can't look down. You got to just keep looking up, especially when you're hanging on. Years ago, when I lived up in Northern California, I lived in a little town called Castro Valley. And it was early in the morning. I walked down, and at this juncture, I'll never forget this, obviously, because it was probably 22, 24 years ago. There was this old lady, and I was pretty young, and she was really old, like, well older than any of you. And she was standing there, and she was like holding something up. And I forever on, I've referred to her in my mind as Grandma Tweety. Because remember the grandma from Tweety Bird? Yeah, that's what she looked like. Like same hairdo, whatever. So I think of her in my mind as Grandma Tweety. But I stopped and they said, "Ma'am, what are you doing?" And she said this. If you have your Bibles and want to look at Psalm 121:1. So what happens is, and this happened at my table down here too, as soon as somebody was talking about my posture, I said, oh gosh, that reminds me, I need to look at that. This lady said to me, "I'm looking toward the hills from whence comes my strength." Okay? And the psalmist goes on there to say, "He who watches over Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps." And the lady said at the table, "My prayers in a season of trial have become increasingly simple. Asking God for wisdom, asking God for mercy." And what did Batterson say was in his book? He has said the prayer he prays more often than anything was a prayer for. Oh, come on now. Nope, starts with an F. Favor. Favor. Oh, wait, I grew up in Sunday school. Good Christian girls didn't ask for anything for themselves. Favor. Asking for God's favor. So right before we get into, in fact, that leads me to this point. Carrie said to me today, "Christine, you need to point out the centerpieces. Today's the last day, and people probably don't even realize that they represent everything that we've been talking about." So Sylvia and I do these little things together where I'll say, "It needs to have this, it needs to have this." And then she finds the elements, so to speak, and puts them together. But literally, we were at a morning of serenity, and I said, the circle maker, he draws a circle in the sand, and he says he will not leave it. So on your place, there's a circle, and in the middle there is sand. And then on the verse it says on the back, Psalm 18:2, "The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer." There's a rock on the plate. And then from Psalm 91, which our last morning of serenity, those were the verses upon which we meditated. "He will cover you with his feathers." You see the feathers? "And under his wings you will find refuge." The softest spot on my chickens is under their wings. Is under their wings. So when those little wings come up, and I carry them, whether they like it or not, I pick those girls up. I say, "Come on, girls, we're going for a walk." I carry my little chickens, and under their wings, that's the softest part. And that's what God says. He will cover us with his feathers. And then one more thing that Sylvia has on here, where the psalmist wrote, and we know it so well, but we only know the first part. We fixate on "the Lord is my shepherd," right? Depending on what translation you're in. But Psalm 23 verse 4 says this. So even if you just pulled this verse out of that psalm, "For you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me." So these things, and including on your tables right now, Jan and Sylvia, Jan's not here today, I think she's finishing a job. Jan and Sylvia and I dreamed, like, what should the next season look like starting September 27th? You know that we're going to do Christine Cain's Unexpected, brand new program. But in that picture, which you can take a picture of on your phone, so to have the invite on your table, you will notice there's several elements. Once again, there are rocks. So literally, Sylvia went to Sepulveda and they gave her the rocks to create this picture. Because we stand on a rock. Our God is the rock on which we stand, right? Amen? Amen. Okay, so then on top of that, if you look at that picture, there's the hummingbird, which forever on will be the ubiquitous sign, because the Holy Spirit represented by the hummingbird. He is not bound by the rules of flight. He is not bound by the strictures of time and space and so on, right? And so the Holy Spirit is represented large. And then because God delights in doing what only God can do, there's a pinwheel up in the corner. Because in my silly little mind, I'm thinking, okay, he's not just the rock, and he's not just that upon which we stand and the mountain to which we look, but he delights in putting things in our path. I mean, how many of you, if you stopped and thought about it, would say, oh my goodness, and I can't believe he did this, and he knew I would enjoy this, and so he did this. Amen. I want to capture that part about God, because sometimes we think about him so concretely, so austere, right? And he is holy, and he is mighty, and he is great, but he's also good. And in his goodness, he loves to delight in putting things in our path. Because as Psalm 37:4 says, if we do what? If we delight ourselves in the Lord, he will give us the desires of our heart, right? Okay. That was my introduction. So here we go. A funny thing happened the other day. Whilst in New York City, we decided, did you want to put that picture up? This as well. Here's another reason you may want to be on Facebook, because Lisa delights in kind of embarrassing me occasionally. Alright, so this was posted on Facebook by someone we all know and love, with dark hair back there. And yes, that is me dragging my suitcase down the street in Brooklyn. But here's let me, and yes, I was in head to toe including my suitcase pink. However, I need to add a disclaimer. I checked the weather before I left home. At 4 a.m. Friday morning, I checked, there was no rain in the forecast. Furthermore, we were to have landed in plenty of time to have changed clothes before we went to Brooklyn Tabernacle, and our flight got delayed, so of course we landed in the rain, but it just gets better. So we get to Brooklyn Tabernacle, and the doors aren't open. And I'm like, well, we're late. Of course, it's like 35 minutes after Bible study was just starting. And so, okay, for security, they lock the doors. So I remember standing there, suitcase, pink umbrella, and I start pounding on the door, right? The security guy comes to the door and he goes, "Can I help you?" And I'm like, "Yes, we're here for Bible study. I'm so sorry we're late." And he says, "Ma'am, that was last night." Oh. Hence the reason I had to drag my suitcase from Brooklyn Tabernacle over to the Marriott several blocks. We won't say who our scheduler was, but let's just say we had a snafu. Let's just say it wasn't yours truly. So, all that said, you notice how kind I was and I didn't have a retort about Mary Poppins walking down the street.
I thought of it.
So that's how that happened. And I really do have a sense of appropriateness, especially in the city at night, but it just didn't happen that way. So, on Sunday afternoon, first of all, we went to Brooklyn Tabernacle to worship on Sunday morning. Once again, if you do not have the Brooklyn Tabernacle app on your phone, I highly recommend it for solid teaching, but also at the bottom, you can tap webcast. So if you can't be in services or you can't sleep at night or whatever, you tap that webcast and you are transported into the most heavenly worship music this side of heaven, because there's people that come from all over New York City, 200 voices strong in that choir, and they sing. How many of you have been there? We took 17 of us or something last February, and they sing like their lives depend on it. Like if they were the only one standing on the risers. I think about that sometimes. If I was the only one standing in church, and I was the only one singing, would they hear me on the platform? They should. If I'm singing to God, they should, right? I should be singing, passionately. Anyway, so that afternoon, we were trying to decide. We thought we were going to go to Times Square Church that night, and we were kind of on the fence. So Lisa looked at the Yelp review, #1 church in New York City, right?
Yeah.
And so we went to that church. We crisscrossed sweaty subways, and I do mean, and got to Brooklyn, back to Brooklyn, we're on the east side at this time, back to Brooklyn to Williamsburg. And I want to set the scene for you. It's almost dark. It's in a little, now I get this because we don't have these, especially in Southern California, Hasidic Jewish / Puerto Rican neighborhood. So we walk up the street, No, I was not in a pink dress. And came to this little building. It was an old, like, Hispanic community center, the storefront. So we went in, and it was an old-fashioned church with pews and so on inside. Lights were dimmed. Great band of worship. But from the moment we walked in, there was the same thing that I feel in the Brooklyn Tabernacle. What was that? What is that thing? Love and welcome first. Okay? Didn't matter if they looked like DJs or whatever. It was love and it was welcome. The second thing I felt was the presence of God. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that there were people who were desirous of encountering God. And maybe some of them, their lives depended on it. That they needed something from God. And so they made their way to this little building in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. So I look around and there were some people kneeling, there were some people with their hands in the air, some people sitting, eyes closed, a couple people laying prostrate on the ground. And I realized that for some of you, you may go, what? Like, how? That would be so distracting. Not for me. To me personally, it's freedom. It's like, this is what you need to do at this moment. Because if somebody was prostrate, they weren't up in front saying, look at me. They were sort of toward the back. But they needed to do business, or whatever. And it wasn't my business what they were doing. So I'm completely, that stuff, it is an acquired comfortability. Because when you begin to experience the things of the Holy Spirit, there has to be a little more freedom. There has to be a little more openness, because how Jeannie Moore interacts with the Holy Spirit, it's going to be different than me. Remember, I grew up Baptist, so I grew up sitting on my hands. So then the rest of you grew up dancing in church. So is one right and is one wrong? No, they're different. We know that David danced before the Lord. Now, I hope that you will wear your clothes, because he felt those were dispensable. But the point is there's freedom in a place where the Holy Spirit abounds. So I was dying to see who's going to preach to this motley crew. And it was probably fewer than 50 people. And people came in late, people came in twos. Mostly the women came in twos. And it was just, and I love taking all of that in. Just absorbing every little bit of it. So probably 25 minutes into it, a guy came in and he walked toward the front. I'm like, listen, okay, this guy's going to bring it. His name was this. And I think I might have written in your notes. No, I didn't. So the church was called City Light Church, New York City. And his name was Pastor Michael D. White. As is my bent, I noticed his comportment and his deportment. All of the details about him. And he delivered a message that was so compelling, and one that I might say in all my years, which remember, been many in church, and sitting in church, and listening and studying myself, I don't believe I've ever heard a message on this topic. It was on prayer, which wouldn't surprise you, because that's what I prayed before. I went, God, give us something, and give me something I can take back. Give me something. So it was on prayer, and he made this comment, and keep your pen handy, because there's a bunch of nuggets in this one. There are things God wants to do in your life that can only be achieved by prayer. Let me say that again. There are things God wants to do in your life that can only be achieved by prayer. Remember, this is not our economy, it's God's economy. How he rolls out who he is in his word. And so we have a way of doing things, especially as women. We know how to get the job done, right? You do X, okay, you're guaranteed an outcome. Back in the day, we had a flow chart. Remember that? Yeah, and all that. Eons ago, called, remember, constructing a flow chart for info systems class, right? So we know how to guarantee an outcome. That's not how it has to work. So many things are only achieved through prayer. In our reading this week, Pastor Mark Batterson commented on praying through, right? So not giving up. However, this takes that and ups the ante a little bit more. And what is it called? It's called the prayer of travail. And wrote the word in your notes, travail. What do you associate travail with? Any of you? What? Childbirth. That's exactly right. So another name for the prayer of travail is the birthing prayer. And hang with me for a minute as we talk about it. You can see why I say, in all my years, nobody's ever told me about the birthing prayer. Okay, so we'll call it the prayer of travail, which in fact is the scriptural term for it. So what is it? I'm hoping, I gotta say, with this our last face-to-face for a little while, and understand we will never be like this again. Somebody won't be here, 2 more people will be here, right? Isabel won't be here, Branson might be here. We'll never be exactly like this again. So lean in, because I know that if it's not for you today, it will be in the future, or it will be something less that we can give to her neighbor across the street, okay? So, first thing is, I have people say to me regularly, I don't know my purpose, or I don't know what God wants me to do. I feel like I'm not doing enough for God, or I'm not using my gift, or what have you. Let me tell you something, and I say this regularly to one of you who is mostly home now. The most important thing and the highest calling, see me looking at you? Ms. Marufa? Is to pray. Is to pray. Your highest calling is to pray. So don't feel I'm 88 years old and I got nothing left anymore. Okay? Or I'm too anxiety ridden to go do such and such. No. Your highest calling. God is calling you to pray, but it is also your highest calling. Let me go on. So it also, some of you, and I've sensed this in some of you, some unrest lately, where there's like this burning, okay? And I get it from a text from someone, or I get an urgent phone call, and there's this thing. You can't even really describe it, except like there's this burden. Sometimes it's a passion. Sometimes it's a burden. Like you actually feel it. There's an expression about the elephant sitting on your chest. There's a burden of something that needs to go forward, and you're not even sure how or what to do with it. That is the setting for the prayer of travail. Because God is setting you up with something He wants to accomplish through you and with you partnering with Him. Okay? So while we accept Jesus as our Savior, and it's through grace, we don't do anything except I believe, right? This is one thing that you may need to muster a little work for, and I'll explain and use a scripture. Last week I stood before you and I somewhat buried my soul. Remember? Kind of told you some down and dirty, okay? And I got gut level honest. And actually I was thinking about it when I was writing this. I did it the week before too. It was a little different the week before. And then I thought, maybe I do it every week, and I just kid myself. So 2 weeks ago I told you about Three Pennies Ranch. And that it was a dream that I believe God had placed in my heart and on my mind. A place where children and people could come and heal through touching animals and interacting with animals, through being outside, a place where there could be mentoring done, a place where there could be restoration, a place where young people, I see guys that are crafts, are skilled in the crafts, teaching another young man, needs a leg up, this happening over there. And so this has been an elephant sitting on my chest. Does that make sense? So in other words, when I sat there and this guy was talking about this stuff, okay, let me set the scene for you, because so he looked like Jerry Seinfeld, but a little more handsome. Perfect haircut, like my husband in the dark, whatever. Jeans, natty jeans, just the right amount faded, but a great sport jacket. And he took it off. I noticed he was in really good shape. And so once I looked into it, he's a jiu-jitsu guy. But all that to say, this guy has it going on. Okay? Because understand that if we're going to represent the Lord, we are called to discipline. We are called to discipline. So I take into all that when somebody stands before me, I'm like, okay. And then I've done my research on the guy since then, and he came out of the finance world and was called into the ministry. So he's a fascinating fellow. And as my highest respect is when somebody's words count and there aren't wasted ones. Because that is not me. I was throwing these little freebies and go, oh, how did I get over there? So he truly is, he says talks about the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And one of the things he says is that nobody talks about this. For the most part, if a Pentecostal church talks about it, they go overboard one way, sometimes. If somebody else talks about it, they may go underboard. In other words, they underplay it. So part of what he attempts to do, and he just wrote a book called Intelligent Charismatic. So he's really wrestling with these matters. How do we walk in the Spirit, but do it in a 1 Corinthians chapter 14 orderly way? So that alone gave him much credence to me. Let me go on and say, there are some things, I said now, God wants to accomplish in you through prayer, but I'm going to up the ante again. There are some things God wants to bring forth through your travail. In other words, when, let's say, Susie was halfway through giving birth to her daughter, she couldn't go, wait, stop, I don't really want to do this anymore. The baby, changed my mind. Changed my mind. Okay, it's the same idea. When God has a thing that he's wanting to do in you, through you, and sometimes it's not even about you. Somebody gets burdened and they know, I'm supposed to pray for thus and so. Okay, I just found out that Judy was praying for me all last summer. I was the elephant on her chest, so to speak. I didn't know, but she knew some things, and she knew some things, and so she prayed and kept still. Okay? It wasn't to affect her life necessarily. It was placed on her, as a conviction. I must do this. I don't know the full extent of it, but this I will do, and I will obey. Okay? Now, if she just said, and this happens all the time, because people get bored of praying. Over it, right? We say all the time people get bored of praying. Because, who sees? Really, right? Who sees? And, nobody will know when it's after a time of day. And, oh, God, what have you. Well, that's the prayer of travail doesn't give up until God accomplishes that thing. And when somebody's saying, well, how will I know when he's done? Because you know. The thing is lifted. There's a thing that is lifted where you go, okay, it's been complete now. So let's keep going. What's the biblical example? If you open your Bibles, please, to 1 Kings chapter 18. 1 Kings, or your phone. 1 Kings chapter 18. In the Old Testament, when God wanted to get a message to his people, typically he would place a burden, like I'm talking about, on the heart and mind of a prophet. Okay? So, in this case, the prophet is Elijah. So you have 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles. So if you're getting my briefings right now, I just gave you the division of the Old Testament scriptures, 39 different books, okay? And it's not ordered chronologically. Actually, that's a great reminder. If you have a phone, we would silence it that way. Okay, 1 Kings chapter 18. So in this setting, and by the way, this would be a good one to look up in the New Living Translation tonight and read it and underline the parts that speak to you. Because there's two great contests that go on in here. At the beginning, which is not the part I'm talking about, but at the beginning is where Elijah takes on the prophets of Baal. And he's set on Mount Carmel, okay, where he can see the enemy coming up the hill toward him and what have you. And what's so great is he taunts them. He's like, so, anyway, we'll let that go. So toward the end of 1 Kings chapter 18, there's a conversation between Elijah the prophet and King Ahab, who's a bad guy, okay? He's wicked, and he's married to Jezebel, who's worse than him. And Jezebel is killing the prophets of God by the droves. So they're hiding in caves, trying to stay away from her, etc. But I want you to notice what this says in here, and we're looking at verse 41. So again, 1 Kings 18, verse 41. Excuse me. Then Elijah said to Ahab, go up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain. Prior to this, and Elijah had a word for Ahab, and he told him, our country is going to undergo a time with no rain. And the rain's only going to come at my word, at my command. In other words, as of the will of God. So Ahab went up to eat and drink, and Elijah went up to the top of Carmel which if you go on a pilgrimage to Israel, you will be there. Then he bowed down on the ground and put his face between his knees. What is that position? Well, actually, if you see it there, this is the position of travail. Okay, so you have when you see it, if you think about it, you know how we used to peek looks at National Geographic? The first time I ever seen a woman with bare breasts was in National Geographic. You know, like somebody in Brazil, and I was like, holy moly, I'd never seen anything like it. The same thing, you see third world countries, women birthing their babies, and they're out, and there's a squat, and when there's a travail, literally the head is between the knees. Okay? So Elijah assumes the position. And so we know that this is a position, this is the prayer of travail. I lost my place. Let's see, put his face between his knees. Now Elijah says to his servant, go up now and look toward the sea. That would be Mediterranean. So he went up and looked and said, there is nothing. This happened 7 times. Okay, now you have to understand, when you're standing on Mount Carmel, you cannot see the sea. So this takes a little while. This is not like, go out there, come back, go out there. This takes a little while. He goes, comes back, goes, comes back. If I were the servant, I would have said, go yourself. By the 5th time, right? So instead, when it came to pass, he comes back 7 times. And he said, go again. Verse 44. Then it came to pass the 7th time that he said, there is a cloud, as small as a man's hand, rising out of the sea. So he said, go up, say to Ahab, prepare your chariot and go down before the rain stops you. Now, so in other words, here's the rain. Now it happened in the meantime that the sky became black with clouds and wind, and there was a heavy rain. So Ahab rode away and went to Jezreel. And the hand of the Lord came upon Elijah, and he girded up his loins and ran ahead of Ahab to the entrance of Jezreel. In other words, he wrapped his garments around him so he could run. But the point is, he assumed the position of travail, which was a posture. Once again, we were talking about, I look toward the mountains from the hill from which my strength comes from. That's a posture of looking up. In this case, he's cooperating with God to do the thing that God was going to do. God has already told Elijah, I will send rain at this time. But he uses Elijah to cooperate with him to bring something about that would affect all of the land. So you see, this was much bigger than Elijah. This wasn't just, in a sense, this was even bigger than what had happened just before this, the prophets of Baal. This was going to affect all of the land. It would affect their crops, it would affect their production, it would affect famine or no famine or what have you. And so God used Elijah. And I want to ask you, what might he want to use you for? That Kathy might go, oh, this is so much bigger than me. I'm asking for the state of California. Right? I mean, I want California. And you know what? The reason Christiane commented that Oliver looked at her sideways when she said, no, that Arliss is going to be ours because God told me, and the court saying, no, we're taking it away. Women have something that's a God-given gift, and it's discernment, but it also has something to do with the way God made us, that we can press in, and there's a discernment. Oh no, I'm hanging on to that. And I think part of it is that men are protecting us from being disappointed. So he's thinking, oh well, I have to protect her because I know what the court said, and so he's helping God out to protect his wife's little heart. And when they take Arliss, honey,